Ruan Hunking receives a message that she must marry regardless of her wishes. A voice asks if she is listening to it. Ruan is surprised by what is happening and tries to rethink the situation. She reflects on past conversations and hears her name being called. The girl looks in the mirror, reflecting on her new life. She realizes that this is her rebirth. She assures her father not to be too upset about what has happened. Her gaze is full of determination. The young girl asks her father to speak to her sister calmly, explaining that she has just woken up and may feel resentful. Ruan Hunking sarcastically asks her father how he could have set the wedding day without her input. She questions his fatherly love. She recalls the day her parents abandoned her and how she was handed over to her grandmother. Mentally compares it to the wedding that is being forced upon her. Now that she is 20, her father suddenly appears on her doorstep. She feels displeased by this. Her father chides her for her lack of respect and tries to stop her. Hunking's mother tries to calm her down. Her father and younger sister are also in the room, waiting for her reaction. Hunking pulls away and asks her mother to stand up. She reminds her parents that they abandoned her without caring. Memories flood over her, a man in a wheelchair and promises of new opportunities. She is unhappy with the situation she finds herself in. Her younger sister rebukes her for disrespecting her parents, but Hunking tells her to shut up. Hunking notices that her sister and mother are always at loggerheads in their affairs, and insinuates that they are no good for anything. Her father reminds her that she must marry to improve the family's status, and demands that she listen to him. Hunking agrees, but on her own terms and with certain conditions for the wedding. The father is angry, but agrees to her terms. The mother looks worried. Grandmother appears, and Hunking is startled by her presence. Hunking asks her grandmother about her agreement with the decision. Doubts about the future remain. Hunking promises to fulfill the terms of the wedding, recalling her conditions she had voiced earlier. A few days later, she arrives at the Huo family residence, getting used to her new surroundings. Hunking enters the house determined to meet the man she must now call her husband. She sees a man in a wheelchair in the room and decides that they should get to know each other better. The man is cold and tells her to leave the room. Hunking intends to make contact, explaining that they are now family and it is important to get to know each other. She introduces herself again as his wife Ruan Hunking and tries to establish a dialogue. The man confidently states that he does not need a wife. The woman points out that thanks to the influence of the Hua family, their marriage was registered in the absence of the other man, and they are now legally married. He is unhappy with what is happening and says that being a wife on paper is not enough. He reminds her that she cannot do anything without his permission. The woman wonders if she has freedom of choice. The woman pulls out a card and says that she wanted to get into investing and was going to borrow money from him, but now she will use the card instead. She suggests splitting the profits in half and asks his opinion. The man replies that he doesn't care and asks her to stay out of trouble and stay out of his way. The woman reassures him, telling him that the family's secrets must be kept. At that moment, someone bursts into the room and informs them that old Mr. Hua is expecting them for dinner. The woman is surprised. The woman declares emphatically that all preparations for the meeting are over and demonstrates her readiness. The family gathers together and someone questions her place in their circle, insinuating that she is breaking the rules. One of the men is surprised by the events and accuses her of breaking tradition. However, she is prepared to confront this, standing confidently. The woman introduces herself to Hua Jingxiang as his sister-in-law, Ruan Hangxing, and asks what this has to do with him. Hua is displeased and wants to show that he won't let her tell him how to act, but the woman resolutely throws the item away. She reminds him that he has one last warning behind him, and if he doesn't change his behavior, her next move will be more forceful. A man in a white suit announces that the chairman will be arriving soon. The woman expresses doubt, but is assured not to worry. The woman, smiling, says that the difference between her stubbornness and Hua's was noticeable. The question hints that her actions may have caused conflicts with Hua. Suddenly, a few more people enter, Hua among them, who wonders why he wasn't warned about this. He sees what is happening and is amazed. The man in white asks if Hua really wants to cause trouble for his family. Hua helps the other man closer and says he is willing to discuss the matter on their terms. The woman laughs, saying that even her husband informs her that he can be wrong. That doesn't bother her, she does things her way. The woman smiles, stating that the future chairman must be properly mannered. They all stand together, and the unexpected happens. Someone chases the other, with the other one begging him to stop, reminding him that they are real brothers. The one being chased apologizes to the woman, who stands sternly waiting for his apology. The two men frantically say she should forgive them. One takes the blame for saying the harsh words and apologizes, promising not to do it again. The woman declares that it's settled now. She won't see them off again. The woman smiles, saying that she had no intention of seeing them both before leaving. She thanks Mr. Hua. The woman says that now that the others are gone, they only have her own family left, that she can discipline. The man glares and says to do as they see fit. The woman in the black dress departs, saying the other people are gone, and asks why they are still trying to interfere. The woman picks up a stick and challenges, pointing out that someone who grew up without caring will never understand the weak. She tells the child that he is too young to understand his feelings and that he just needs to know that he is afraid. The woman decides not to continue any further, reasoning that it's just their family now. The woman wonders how he can change his views on the issue of discipline. The man is surprised by Ms. Ho's charisma, reflecting on her influence. The woman tells Mr. Ho that she has asked Sister Chen to prepare his favorite dishes. The woman offers to escort him to dinner, but he assures her that it is not necessary. She emphasizes the importance of family dinner and hopes Mr. Huo will adopt the habit. The woman diligently persuades him, and he agrees. A man in a wheelchair pulls up to the table. His brother's surprised voice is heard. A sixth young gentleman is expected to arrive, and everyone is seated at the table. The woman notes that although Huo shares a father, they have different mothers, and this affects their characters. The woman hears a piano playing and wonders if it is all true. Someone isn't playing it right, and the woman notices it. A girl with golden hair asks not to come closer to her. The woman assumes the girl is different from the rumors and introduces herself as her brother's wife, new to the family. The girl panics and asks not to be touched, causing the woman to wonder and question what happened. The man hits the girl with a whip and demands that she not pretend. The girl's condition turns out to be altered as her father calls her the lost daughter who has finally been found. It turns out she is not a real daughter and is only an adopted daughter, but she is immediately required to play the piano. The girl stands on stage, exaggeratedly radiant in her dress, but hears someone backstage declare that she is not worthy of the spot. The characters start playing the piano, and the girl is surprised to remember this tune. The girl says that the tune is called The Swan, and admits that she only knows a small snippet. She wonders if another character can teach her the whole song, impressed by his playing. The man offers to help the girl, and says they are family so there is no need to be formal. She is embarrassed and thanks him, happy for his support. A young man walks up the stairs heading to school this morning. The woman urges her younger brother to get cleaned up quickly and get ready for dinner. A woman wonders why the younger one is shy. She thinks he should be comfortable in this house despite his new status. The boy hurries to run down the stairs, clearly late. While eating breakfast, Junior asks his sister for milk, about to leave for school. He is puzzled by the offer to drink milk for growth, but agrees and thanks. The boy continues to drink the milk, reflecting on his sister's politeness. A woman informs her younger sister that she has asked her to make porridge with liver to nourish her strength. Another boy hopes there is a gift for him, too. The discussion of a gift for the third brother causes some confusion at the breakfast table. The woman continues the conversation by mentioning a special gift for the younger brother. She promises to send the gift to the boy at school, alluding to a moped. The younger one enthusiastically imagines that the gift could even be a sports car. The woman emphasizes that the gift must be earned by scholastic diligence. The youngster embarrassedly thanks her, pleased with the attention. The protagonist shows her grandmother that she is wearing new clothes. She stands in the room in her new outfit, looking pleased. The protagonist tells her that she was at their house yesterday and got a card to spend the money however she wants. Grandma says if he treats her well, she should live happily with him. She promises her grandmother that she will bring him to meet her one day. The friend says they'll be visiting Han Xin's sister soon. Shen Nai, Han Xin's friend, brings a bag of groceries, saying they bought fish for lunch. A friend is holding a bag of fish while chatting with Han Xin's grandmother. Outside, a group of guys are discussing whether it's Xiao Bai, their mutual acquaintance. Thinking back to her past life, the protagonist thinks about how her childhood friends stopped socializing with her after her marriage because of their backgrounds. The protagonist stands, deeply immersed in her thoughts. She reminisces about Shen Nai, who at the age of 20, due to lack of money, mistakenly immersed herself in the entertainment industry, lost her child and was abandoned, leading her to a desperate act with a tragic end. The scene shows how Xiao Bai, a member of the same gang, was falsely accused of a crime and spent several years in prison. Xiao Bai was falsely accused and spent several years in prison. Upon getting out, he regretted his past. The main character tells her grandmother that she is going to go out. The grandmother asks where she is going, reminding her that dinner is coming up. The protagonist walks down the street. Another young man is seen smoking outside. The young man depicted earlier is standing in an alley smoking. As she approaches him, the protagonist suddenly calls out to Xiaobai. She reminds him that she asked him not to smoke. The protagonist stands with her arms crossed, expressing aggression. The guys ask Xiaobai if it's his girlfriend, admiring her looks. The protagonist warns of the consequences if anyone continues to cause trouble. One of the guys yells, asking how dare she talk to Li's brother like that. She replies that she doesn't like fingers being pointed at her and makes a sharp motion. Screams are heard as the action leads to a loud bell ringing. The protagonist, using physical force, knocks down one of the guys. The next hit is followed by an exclamation of, is that enough? She stands with a baseball bat, assuming the principle of an eye for an eye. A guy with a smashed face is lying on the ground. Another guy is watching. One of them asks the protagonist what she wants, but she quietly asks him not to make any noise. The protagonist holds up her phone, about to make a call. She informs them that she is calling the police to file a report. The sound of a police siren is heard. Then she calls out to Xiaobai. Xiaobai looks surprised and scared in front of her. The protagonist warns him that if he falls into bad company again, she won't hesitate to act harshly. She points out that such mistakes could lead him to a reformatory. Xiaobai agrees, recognizing that his sister Han Xin's grip is native. Back at home, she asks to heat up some food for her. The children enter behind her, following her towards the kitchen. One of the boys asks what snacks she brought, waiting for an answer. She explains that it's not an appetizer, mentioning that she was late because of business and brought leftovers from lunch. The main character smiles. She asks if anyone would like to eat. The others willingly agree to try the food she brought. While waiting for someone, she asks a question and turns around. A young man, busy reading, denies having waited long. A look of mild irritation is expressed on his face. Then a rumbling stomach can be heard. The protagonist ponders that he is using a double standard in his communication. Suggests that if everyone is so inclined, he should cook some food for everyone to sample. The children react to the words with joy and admiration. From surprise that she can cook, one of them wonders. Hearing the bell ring, the protagonist wonders who has come. A bouquet of flowers appears in front of the door. The flowers glow happily under the light of expectation. The woman comments, calling her the beautiful Mrs. Ho. The girl thanks the other woman for helping to educate her incompetent brother, expressing appreciation for her efforts. A man hands a woman a bouquet of flowers, wondering if she enjoys the flowers. The woman looks at him suspiciously, and the man explains that the gift is intended as a token of appreciation. The man says that in this world only a particular woman can afford such a gesture as the gift of a bouquet of flowers. He says that he has seen many people, but only this woman in particular stands out. He remembered their first meeting and felt it was time for something new. The woman ponders what kind of strange person he is. The woman says she is used to being a wanderer. She then remarks that the man who sent her flowers with such a spread must decide if he wants to be a news story or an article in a financial newspaper. The man replies that the roses are lovely but thorny and suggests that they have dinner together the next night, assuring her that he wouldn't mind scandalizing a beautiful woman. Another man appears and says that if a man wants to eat, he is always welcome. The woman is standing next to the bouquet. She thinks about defending her honor and the sense of security she feels for the first time when someone stands in front of her defending. The woman is bid farewell, and she assures the man that she will welcome him warmly. The man realizes that he has been defeated by the couple and expresses a mixture of surprise and disappointment at their strength together. The man tells the woman that she can come to him for similar issues in the future, making it clear that she can rely on his help. The man in the wheelchair and the woman turn toward each other. She agrees to his offer. The woman thanks the man for taking care of the situation in her absence. She has heard that his assistant usually does not return at this time. The man asks just to keep the glass, and the woman notices that the water is just the right temperature to help with the medication. The woman is nervous and asks what is wrong with the man, seeing him hesitate, and notices that his hand is shaking. The woman tells the aide to be careful and helps the man with the medicine. The woman thinks about the lack of complete trust and supports the man, who expresses appreciation for her presence during a difficult time. The man agrees to her suggestion, and they recall how they once trusted a specialist's recommendation for treatment. The man explains that he does not want to hurt himself and is just trying to keep warm. The woman says she had previously offered help, not expecting it to be so difficult. The woman recounts how something went wrong with her medication and recalls a well-known hospital where she hopes to resolve the situation. The man replies that he is happy to spend time with the woman if she wishes. She smiles, feeling satisfied. The woman leaves in a car with the man, although another character tries to get her attention. The children talk about wanting to go shopping together and insist on it, each giving their own opinion. The woman assures with a smile that they will definitely go next time, despite the sad faces of the children. In the car, the man tells the woman to memorize the stores for future shopping, and the woman agrees. The woman discusses the rumors about the man being a hospital patient and his effect on other families, saying that he doesn't care about them. The woman decides that no one can stop her from sending the man for a checkup, despite all the obstacles. The man driving ponders what the woman next to him is going to do. In the hospital building, the woman asks Dr. Gu about the results, and he confirms that the disease is curable. The woman points out that the man has undergone surgery, and the doctor assures that after treatment, he will be able to walk as before. A man in a wheelchair asks why the woman brought him to the hospital and if she is joking. The woman reminds the man that there is a price to pay for everything in life, and the man looks at a newspaper clipping about himself. The woman firmly asserts that no one will touch her child in this life. The man takes the woman's hand, assuring her that he will take care of the situation, and she ponders whether he is trying to reassure her. The woman responds to the man that she is there for her and everything is fine. The woman assures the man that she believes in him and that the most important thing for him right now is to focus on his treatment and health. A woman thinks about the man's plans to be treated abroad and then gets a call to find out about hospitalization fees. While in a shopping center, a woman asks a man if he likes the item he has chosen. The man says the item is good. The woman and man went shopping to avoid being caught by children who think they are in the hospital. The man is confused and asks the woman why she chose the item. The woman says it is a gift and asks him if he likes it. The man replies that it is nice and holds her hand, telling her that she can now wear it. The man says he likes the color and texture of the item, and the woman decides to take it. The man remarks that this is the first time he has seen her like this as the woman takes the item. The man is approached by the girl, calling him cousin, and says they haven't seen each other in a while. The man fends her off, saying it's best for outsiders to stay out of it. The man is surprised, and the woman suggests that her cousin just must have missed him a lot. The woman asks the man to wait and promises to return in a moment. The man agrees. The woman asks the girl who she is. The girl introduces herself as the wife's cousin and asks to show her the store. The woman smiles and agrees to help the relative. The girl thinks the cousin is just a redneck and is about to do something against her by holding up a fatal Barbie pink lipstick. The girl is convinced that this lipstick is the trendiest color this year and will attract men. The woman asks with interest if this is true. The girl assures that she is not lying to her cousin. Girl approaches, saying it's okay not to know about it because of the origin. The lipstick accidentally falls out of her hand and hits a product standing on the counter. The woman says she thinks the color is beautiful too and suggests the cousin try it first. A purple-haired girl asks a man where he is going. In a cafe, a woman in a black skirt and yellow blouse stands confidently in front of a customer with pink hair, showing her indifference. The woman tells the cashier to pay the bill with Mr. Ho's card, and the cashier admires her beauty and generosity. A girl with pink hair sitting on the floor whispers to herself, or to someone, that she is exactly Ruan Han Shin. Two men are discussing how President Huo gave his wife a lot of money after the accident, which is a natural occurrence for newlyweds. The manager tells the man with purple hair that he gave his wife half of the company because he thought she was worthy. A man with purple hair reflects on how he prevented rumors of marriage due to old incidents by derailing chains of failures. A man with purple hair in a wheelchair catches himself remembering how he once resisted family reunions because of a hoax. The woman joins the two younger members of the family and presents them with a gift, thanking them for their participation. The woman reflects on the mystery of the Gu family and realizes that the mystery of the family is becoming more and more apparent. She decides that since Master Huo has arranged everything, she will take the children to old Master Gu. The woman chooses which children she will take with her. The younger brother persuades his sister to take him to the celebration with him despite her hesitation. The woman agrees to take all the children to the banquet, and gradually, they begin to rejoice. In the hall, the Gu families discuss the arrival of the sister-in-law. The woman rejects that she has a daughter-in-law, as she is told. Mrs. Huo's unexpected arrival causes excitement and a rush to greet her. The woman reports that the daughter-in-law has indeed arrived. A group of people appear accompanied by a woman in a red dress. The Huo family is dumbfounded by her presence. The woman is angry, wondering how the one came here and what has been disputed before. The woman argues whether the one really thinks the woman is a urod, but the other replies that she just wanted to go out for some fresh air. An accident occurs and someone sees the old Master Gu's vase shatter. Everyone is shocked. A woman anxiously asks what is going on and who did it. Huo Xian, the fourth young master of the family, points out that a clue about the groom's actions should be presented. A character wonders if being able to receive guests in their family is a norm of courtesy. Everyone in H City is aware of how the Ho family's status has fallen, and one must be careful in such matters. Another character warns not to put the Gu family in a difficult position and reminds them of the guest's behavior. A character apologizes, asking not to involve the Ho family in what is happening. It is brought up that the Gu family is openly opposing the Ho family, and we should expect change in H City. Someone points out how badly the Ho family has handled the situation, but the inability to hold back is also striking. Then wonders to another if he really appreciated the circumstances. One character tells another that his ignorance puts them in a position where there is nothing they can do to help. A character notices a stranger and asks him to turn around, wondering who it is. A slap from one character to another follows with an exclamation of surprise. A woman accuses the character of a misunderstanding, reminding her of the social context and demands an apology, which is followed by a physical slap. One of the women explains that her sister was inappropriately slapped, while the other confirms the fact. The woman recalls how Ho's family treated the character and questions how he treats outsiders. Another character finds herself shoved away and is asked to think about what happened while she lies down. The character apologizes to the other for the breach of decorum, adding that he is still arguing, which is the norm. The woman apologizes and admits she did wrong. Another of the women notes that business has been taken care of and reminds them that they have little room in the house for guests. A character is grateful for past hospitality, but wonders about the consequences of his words if they make life difficult for another. One of the men notes the woman's ability to sort things out, but the truth is that the Ho family is responsible for what happened. The woman offers a solution to grow orchids, asking for 3 months to do so, otherwise promises to reimburse the amount. The man agrees to let the woman try it since the wife in charge is confident in her skills. The woman is pleased that her plan is approved, but is unhappy with the attitude, believing it to be improper. One character asks the other if he thinks he might encounter such an attitude and is confronted with the question of whether it is worth it. The woman marvels at how it is possible that Ho Chi harmonized so well with the orchid. The woman claims that anyone could have pushed her, denying her guilt. One of the women doesn't understand how her tiptoeing position could have been considered if not by her side, while the other accuses her of cheating. The characters discuss whether she actually asked for help in that situation, considering it a disgusting incident. The woman warns to stay away from her, noting that she has already received a slap from her sister, but receives threats in return. One of the characters demands the other to give another slap, indicating not the most favorable intentions. The fourth young miss of the Ho family claims her title and asks if Chung still wants to make a mess. The man asks the woman in the dress to stop humiliating others for his own gain. She says it's over. A group of women discuss how stunning one of them looks in a dress. They joke that her dress looks more expensive than her expensive taste. The woman complains to her sister that there are too many people around. Suddenly, she hears a piano playing. Someone is playing the piano. It is said that Master Yu himself will accept new students. Someone remembers that 5th Miss Ho likes to play the piano. This is a rare chance to try her hand and perhaps be accepted by Master Yu. Someone laughs, saying it's a joke. A woman rebukes that others are purposely looking for a reason to argue. This is a chance for 5th Miss Ho to prove herself. Another woman says, let her play on stage and see what happens. The woman asks if it is true that Master Yu chooses students by who is better at bullying others. The woman present says that idle talk only spoils the music. Everyone will get a chance if they can play well. A blonde woman appears in thought and wonder. Someone yells for Ho Xiaoning to start, doubting her ability. The woman encourages Xiaoning, telling her not to be nervous and that she will be with her on stage. Assures her that she believes in her. Xiaoning agrees with the encouragement. Despite her nervousness, Xiaoning prepares to perform at the piano, surrounded by other people. The woman advises Xiaoning to ignore the reactions of others. She is told to look at the keys and follow her feelings. Xiaoning assures herself that no one else matters. She plays the piano, and those present notice that she is really good at playing. It is reported that she has lived up to expectations as the young miss of the Ho family. They admire Xiaoning's talents and suggest that she learn to play the piano. She gladly accepts the offer. Some are delighted with her sister's performance. Someone asks his sister to make an exception and let him have a drink tonight. A woman rebukes her older brother, saying that he doesn't know how to distinguish between loyalists and traitors. A man wonders if his sister-in-law and Ho's family will be able to protect him throughout his life. The woman seriously ponders what she has said. The woman enters and informs him that Mr. Ho must trust her, assures her that it is possible to protect him all his life. The man wonders if they care for him too much. The woman replies that they are family and he is important to her too. Meanwhile, another girl sneaks out of the room. The man calls the woman his wife, asking if she treats him like a child. The woman, approaching him, talks about whether they have forgotten something important. He confirms that he is not only a grown man, but also her husband. The post-credit scene notes that this is a drama about love and family. Dr. Gu tells President Ho that his wife's frequent sitting on his lap can cause problems. The man says he can be relied on a little more. The woman promises that she will be very well behaved, causing tender feelings between them. She advises him not to overwork, wishing to take care of his health. Suddenly, they are interrupted by the woman informing them that something unexpected has happened to the Orchid. The story is about a girl named Lan Lan who could not speak because of a mishap. The character wonders if something happened through no fault of her own, and the other woman claims that she only came to look at the Orchid but didn't expect anything. The two women are looking at the Orchid together and the situation looks tense. The woman has to find a book on orchid breeding and thinks about whether anything will change after the trip. Another girl is informed that there is some man waiting for him at the door and he is busy at this time. The man responds to a request to pick up the man by saying that he will take care of it now. The character asks who the man is and why he is looking for his wife. The man explains that he was looking for his wife to give her a message as she is not answering her phone. The situation escalates when the red-haired character continues to insist on his task of conveying something to his wife, placing emphasis on the importance but emphasizing that if she were not there, he would have mailed it. The action shifts to Si Cheng's neighborhood, where the setting changes. The woman is perplexed as to why the book is no longer available and attributes this to the butterfly effect. Characters inquire if she is all right, treating her with concern. A conversation takes place between them about how they met and what news the character has. The question of having a dog causes excitement in the boy who witnesses the scene. Suddenly, there is the barking of a dog and a warning to be careful as the restless movement begins. One of the men instructs the other to be more careful and not to overreact as it relates to her fear of dogs. Remembering the past, the character thinks about how he protected her as a child and needs to do it again. The dogs keep barking and whining at the right times to reinforce what is happening. Despite this, the red-haired young man promises that he will help as much as he can and do his best. He has remarked that no one asked him to do this, but he receives praise for his efforts. Another character comments on their close bond, and the woman explains that they grew up together as a family. They walk past a wall where he remembers how as children they used to play here, marking their measurements on the wall, manifesting memories of the past. The woman states that she always achieves through persuasion and offers to share this information in the future to learn more about each other. Suddenly, someone notices a familiar character and remembers an unpleasant situation involving another person. A group of people gather, hinting at revenge for Lee's brother. A woman is offered help in this dangerous old town, but she politely declines, showing independence. Confidently, she reminds the others present that her husband is nearby, showing her determination. The woman asks if anyone can see her husband, while simultaneously delivering a powerful punch to her opponent. Her blow causes the man to fly off, and the woman wonders why anyone would try to provoke her. The man screams in agony and pain, while the guy standing next to him accuses the woman of being rude. A woman standing over a defeated enemy says the day is over and she will send his boss a message. A man in a wheelchair admires the woman's skills, mentioning her mastery of investments, orchids, and martial arts. He wonders what else she will surprise him with. The woman gets a call from the school. She is asked to come in because of a problem with a child named Chung Lin. The woman stands with the child and a man in a wheelchair, contemplating how the situation should be handled. The narrator mentions that the father has fallen completely into despair and frustration because of the events. The woman sits surrounded by money, realizing that living in the world of wealthy parents is hard, which often leads to psychological problems in children. The woman asks Chung Lin to take her to the studio. The woman asks the child if he will scold her, but the man in the wheelchair states that the child is not guilty of anything. The child offers to go with him to show something interesting in the studio. The woman wonders if there is anything she can do to help him, and he smiles back. The child and the women find something amazing behind a curtain. The child points to some art, saying that this is the only place he can live like this. The child apologizes, thinking his work is bad. The woman recognizes the uniqueness of his work and suggests adding a few strokes. The child jokes that her intervention might change the meaning of the painting and explains the specialness of each child. The woman advises using color at his age as much as possible. The narrator says that while the painting may have impressive possibilities, it may have somber undertones, but this only emphasizes the child's talent. The woman and the child look at the painting and discuss its possibilities. The woman promises the child that she will add more color to her world. The child shares that whenever he holds the brush, it feels as if his life is on the canvas. The child hopes that in the future, he will be able to properly thank the woman for her support. The process of preparing the plant with nutrient water takes place. The woman talks to the man and clarifies what happened. The man thanks the woman for what she has done for the family, but she assures him that it is her responsibility. As expected, the character follows the method from the book and notices immediate results. The character offers to take Xiaobai out to dinner, as he has helped a lot this time. A young woman stands with a flower pot. A young man is nearby. The girl ponders why the mood of the overbearing president changes as quickly as the weather in June. A man's voice confirms that something else needs to be done. A young man looks off into the distance, surrounded by plants. A girl recalls that after the car accident, the Ho family was quiet for a long time. Someone asks the missus to organize a family banquet and make it as lively as possible. The woman stands with a flower and smiles. She agrees to make a list and show it to Mr. Ho. A man says something surprising, causing the girl to exclaim. An invitation appears and someone decisively declares that they are not going to the Ho family banquet. One of the characters does not want to go to the banquet for fear that it will bring him humiliation. A hand is abruptly grabbed, leaving him no choice. A man warns that if signs of disobedience are shown again, he will disregard the family ties. The man asks that his sister behave. He says that only when things get better for him will their family be able to live in luxury. A luxurious social event with evening gowns is shown. The girl urges Chungling not to be nervous and present the people around him as cabbages, to which he replies that he is not nervous. A male figure addresses Han Shin's sister. The girl apologizes for being so confused at the banquet that she failed to protect Chen Chen. A man and a woman stare at her intently. One of the guests says that he came to apologize, but Nan Xing points out that the apology should be to Chen Chen. The woman insists that if this apology is insincere, it is better to leave. The young man makes a sarcastic remark that the gift might be deceitful, but the other girl protests, assuring that it is sincere. A woman invites a girl she hasn't seen in a while to apologize. The girl says she specifically invited her sister to see her. The sister greets the girl and says she missed her. The guest expresses surprise that she was not invited and worries that the family might be angry with her. The woman wonders if Chung Yi is a good-for-nothing and why Ruan Wei Si was invited to the event. The girl turns her attention to Ho Cheng's brother, calling him handsome. He stands in front of his sister showing doubt. The sister asks why she is causing such hostility, even from her brother. She expresses her wish for her sister to live happily and not be angry with her. The woman in the guise smiles. She assures that her brother is always perfectly behaved. Her sister wonders why she could do such a thing. A young man and two girls look at each other. The male figure notes that one of the ladies is making too much fuss. He discreetly suggests that the young brother may be afraid to be touched. She considers the man and notices his attractiveness. A woman's recollection of her ex-husband, whom she recognizes at the event. After saying goodbye to Miss Zhuo in the slums, the protagonist begins to remember her and keeps her in his thoughts. The protagonist wonders when the last time he saw Miss Zhuo was on his wedding day in the slum. But she flippantly remarks that it was so long ago that she has only a hazy memory. The hero jokes that his memory of the glue is still fresh. The first character asks if the other character remembers Miss Huan helping him and goes on to talk about the importance of that help, comparing it to a needed drop of water in the heat. He asks if Miss Zhuo can forgive him. Despite past help, Miss Zhuo is not interested in forgiveness. She asks him not to be annoying. Hero is worried as it is important for his future at work. Hero asks Ms. Zhuo why she speaks so harshly to him. He is confident and declares that he is better than her husband who needs treatment. The man doubts Ms. Zhuo's husband's ability to make her happy. Ms. Zhuo replies that she doesn't need anyone else's comments on the matter. When the man tries to touch Ms. Zhuo, she reacts sharply and moves away. All around, people begin to whisper about the scandalous behavior. The crowd gathers around and everyone discusses how surprising it is to see this man in such a mood. His behavior is rarely provocative and this attracts attention. The older sister asks how the younger sister could be in such a situation. She reproaches her for thinking herself capable of choosing a worthy man. The younger sister expresses indignation and asks the older sister to mind her own business because she is an adult and does not need advice. The young man can't stand it and reacts harshly to what's going on, calling for it to end. Rian Wei-Su reminds her sister that she is an illegitimate daughter and has no right to tell her about their family affairs. The indignant sister is outraged, asking what nonsense we are talking about. Ms. Zhuang further explains to her sister that she is ready to repeat everything about her background and status if she has forgotten what her mother did to their family. In response to her explanation, she acts decisively and decides to teach her sister a lesson by dousing her with drink. The sister, who is now wet, is indignant and does not understand what happened. Ms. Zhuang says she did it to help her sister remember when it is best to keep her mouth shut. Next time, it won't be as gentle. Another guest tries to intervene, but Miss Zhuang doesn't hesitate to point him to the door. Miss Zhuang calmly continues her evening, enjoying a glass of drink, determined to forget about the incident. However, the taste of the wine surprises her. She wonders why this wine is so spicy. Rumors around discuss the Hao family's reputation and the behavior of its members, suggesting that something important is possible. The hero gratefully accepts the technical help, but is proud that he can handle his own affairs. At this point, he turns to Miss Huan, calling her his wife, and wonders if she speaks of him as her husband. While the characters are discussing what is happening, Miss Zhuang suddenly leaves, coming to despair. The people around her are not sure what will become of her next. Someone in the audience calls out to follow her, not wanting to lose sight of her. At this time, a man wonders where his martini is and gets the answer that it's gone. Apparently, the displeasure at the actions between the brothers is made laughable by self-criticism, mainly because sisterly rivalry is common knowledge. The older brother chased the brother-in-law and got away, and the brother-in-law got drunk. The question is whether the brother-in-law will throw my brother out the window. The guests were beaten into fools. This kid is clearly stupid. Tomorrow my sister-in-law will beat him up and things will get better. Oh God, go see a psychiatrist. She sits up and notices him coming as he pulls into the room in his wheelchair and says, "Are you here?" He asks if she's okay. The wife is thinking about how best to use his $50 million. At today's banquet, the Chung family really lowered their reputation by accepting and swindling money. This Chung Yi is really brainless, but Chung Ming is dangerous, so she wants to use the $50 million to trick him. He says it doesn't matter and suggests she control the funds if it's not enough. He asks if they have a deal and offers to go to her grandmother's house after the banquet. She agrees. She thinks she always gets help from him in all her projects. He asks her to speak first. She replies that she just wanted to thank him. They say it's already an accomplishment for the Jun family that she married them. They reproach her for not being able to have a child in a year of marriage. They rejoice that she's become part of the family in this life, and he reminds her that they're always together no matter what. She looks at him with gratitude. They hug and agree with each other. She asks what he wants to say. He wants to hold on to her, and she covers her face bashfully and says she's drunk. He notes that she is drunk and jokes that there is no work for drunks. She wonders if she's beautiful and asks him to tell her directly. They kiss, immersing themselves in the moment. She confirms her pleasure in the kiss. The man holds the woman on his lap, pulling her close to him. He softly whispers an address to Mrs. Ho, saying she is asleep. A question appearing as a thought in the man's mind, wondering how someone could fall asleep in such a position. The man gently kisses the woman's forehead and wishes her pleasant dreams, again addressing her as Mrs. Ho. In the background of the building, the man suddenly wakes up from a nightmare. He wonders why his dream was so horrible. Intercut to a cityscape, where various kinds of cars are moving along the road. A man in a car ponders how to explain the incidents of last night. The woman next to him thoughtfully notices that the city seems to be perfectly intimidated. As the car rushes down the highway, the woman asks him to stop talking about past events. The woman tells the man in the wheelchair that her grandmother is asking about him. She makes it clear that her grandmother is worried and wants to see him. Suddenly it becomes clear that there is a certain woman who should not have been allowed in the house. She approaches the man, ignoring the warnings. Another woman joins them, greeting Han Xin with her perplexed tone. The woman asks her sister why she's here and wonders who's in front of her. Thinking that the man in the wheelchair can't be Ho, she is struck by his appearance, finding him unaccustomedly handsome. The woman recognizes the man as Mr. Ho. She is surprised and cannot understand why he does not remember her. The man, remaining wary, questions whether the woman should be familiar to him. She looks confused. The woman reveals that she is Han Shin's younger sister and was also engaged to Mr. Ho. She recalls how her sister and brother-in-law have a good relationship. It gradually becomes clear that the man doesn't know everything about Han Shin. She recalls that being under Han Shin's care, she is grateful that Ho is now willing to take her as his wife. In her opinion, he's a great man. The young man in the wheelchair is filled with pride, thinking that he can have such privileges. The women around him, however, jealously challenge this approach. The woman in the company of another man fulfills her dreams by imagining that things could have been different. The woman is reminded that the man next to her is, after all, invited by her spouse and not someone else. She abruptly asks him to leave. The man allows the woman to take his hand, promising to work things out. He says he had definite goals for this visit. The woman is surprised to notice the guests leaving, puzzled by what is happening. Outside, the two continue their conversation, wondering why this is happening. The man is surprised by the woman's strength, comparing her to someone special. She asks him for a small favor. The woman confesses that she wants the man to help her sister avoid suffering in the Ho family. She sincerely believes that only marriage to the young master will bring her sister true happiness. She persistently asks if the young master will help her fulfill her request. The man agrees to help, but the woman seems cunning in his opinion. The woman, in conversation with her grandmother, says she overheard unflattering comments about the Ho family and warns of possible danger. The grandmother speaks of attempts to slander her granddaughter, despite believing her herself. She expresses concern and bewilderment. The woman explains that these rumors were started by them on purpose to attract interested parties. The woman, not understanding the whole scheme, is just happy to help. The woman introduces her family to her grandmother, showing that everything is fine. The girl pushes the man's stroller and reflects that she didn't expect Mr. Ho to be able to resist. The man responds by saying that he couldn't resist her grandmother and her. She reflects on the news that spread quickly, and that it took several days before she herself found out. She tells the man that he has finally returned. The woman in the black dress notices that the gift idea is back, and the man agrees. The heroine thinks about the importance of a matter that cannot be ignored. A man is driving another guy in a wheelchair and an arrow points at them. Someone reports talking to their aunt about a new investment company. The woman explains that she is not aware of the details, as everything was recommended to her by her assistant. They discuss how lucrative some of the projects are, and the woman says it's obvious. She remembers how easy it is to cheat her, as Chungming said. She is happy that the woman agreed with them, but remarks that it is important for women to have money for confidence. The woman listens about having to be sure of a return on investment, to which her interlocutor offers to show one project to be invested in. She intends to stay tonight to see the office. She assures her that the project associated with the company is really worthy of attention. The woman thinks that the company may be involved in money laundering, but she reassures herself that her people are working there now, and she will be able to outsmart them. She offers to introduce her to the office tomorrow, but reminds one person that she needs to make sure she is safe first. The heroine agrees with her aunt. The woman remembers an overseas business company that she believes belonged to her. She goes through the papers, remembering that she was given the company as a gift when her husband was still alive. She wonders how the man knows about the business, to which he replies that he happened to notice the document. He explains that the company was gifted to her by Old Master Huo to make transactions easier. She thinks that this Chungming is too ambitious and fears that everything might have been a show-off. The man admits that he underestimated Chungming and thinks Aunt Huo is too impatient. She discusses with her husband how they must be careful in the office tomorrow and agrees to take him along. The staff prepare the documents and worry whether they are doing everything right. They receive instructions from President Chung. The question is up in the air. Do they want to hand over all the company's assets? Chung Ming explains that there is no need to fear exposure as their adversary is easily fooled. The woman inquires about the company by looking at the documentation. The man greets Ms. Huan, noting that he has heard a lot about her, and asks about her companion. The woman explains that she is her assistant and asks him to contact her if he needs help. The man thinks she is beautiful, but stupid, and that can be taken advantage of. June's assistant inquires about an investment project. The woman mocks the level of professionalism of the people working under Aunt Huo. She considers what it's like to be the boss by leafing through documents. The paperwork continues. She finds something unexpected in the documentation and starts copying data, realizing how important the information is. She determinedly copies everything she finds while someone tries to stop her. She manages to save the data. Aunt Huo discusses Assistant Jun's opinion of the data with two colleagues while the woman sits pensively at her computer. He suspects that she might have discovered the fake accounting documents and is immersed in a mental game. The assistant wonders how the work is progressing, asking questions about the data. Ms. Huan confirms that she sees potential and inquires about further investment. The woman reminds that since they are the whole family, they should support each other, and is convinced of the profitability of the investment. The woman thanks for the good news. The assistant thanks Ryang and tells her how much fun they had on the way, while the woman remembers a long-ago gift. The woman confidently says it's easy to get it, holding the item in her hands while the man quietly reads a newspaper nearby. The phone shows a publication that says the protagonist's wife has gotten into hot topics, and the man, surprised by the news, exclaims, "Oh no!" The music room is filled with several people. A girl plays the piano and attracts the attention of the surrounding men with her performance. A woman meets the blonde's gaze as she discusses the recent rumors. She looks at her resolutely, telling her not to be alarmed about these rumors. The situation is actively discussed online, where one commentator offers new racy details, while another expresses surprise. The sister of the protagonist asks him to calm down and ends the discussion. People actively share opinions about the situation in the comments. A man quite seriously admonishes to stop talking, adding that public opinion is a war without gunpowder and is not a toy. The woman reassures the young guy, assuring him that there is no need to worry about her as nothing bad will happen despite the lies directed against them. The man sharply accuses the girl, pointing his finger at her, and exclaims about her actions, demanding an explanation. Pointing at the man, the woman warns him that if he wants to talk, he should do so respectfully, or she will not allow him to say anything bad about her. The young man angrily declares that having such a daughter is a disgrace to him, angered by her actions. The woman drops the glass and the water spills over the surface, emphasizing her point that her act is irrelevant. The woman calmly says that she is pouring water on him and his family, calling the man insane. The girl tries to calm down the heated father, begging him to stop the quarrel. She reminds him that it is shameful for the Ho family to be in such a situation. The man in the wheelchair declares the strictness with which to raise his daughters, believing that the Ju family was too soft. The man urges that his wife is now the mother of their child and must be protected, assuring that there will be no second chance for her defense. The girl explains that the father was afraid of negative words on the internet that could hurt and adds that the father did it for the Ho family. The man stops the conversation by suggesting to kick the guests out so everyone leaves. Hearing this, the man explodes with indignation and points to the door. The woman begins to laugh, realizing that the irony of the whole situation makes her smile at the memory of it. The woman confidently offers to entrust the rest to her, assuring her that she can handle the situation herself. The boy is asked to slow down to avoid falling and promises to check his homework later, concerned for his well-being. The man thanks the opposite party for being conscientious and promises to do the same for her, suggesting that together they could make things right. Ruin Hanshin Company says it intends to pursue the rumor mongers to the end, showing determination in its actions. With legal documents, it is discussed how Ruin Hanshin was forced to take action. In the comments, people laugh at and discuss the situation. Social network users thank for helping to expose unscrupulous people and joke about the current system of laws. Events are described in which Xiaobai had no contact with Ruan Hanqing, and Ho Chen himself was not present. An animated character complains about not being included in the footage, and various users express their displeasure and intention to continue spreading rumors. The man confidently adds the word tomorrow, implying that tomorrow will be a decisive day. Someone notices that the uncle has been drinking a lot again. An older nephew warns that Mrs. Huo has come today and wants to inspect the company. They talk about how she was just sitting at the computer, and if not for the bluff, the cash cow would have been lost. One is surprised that Ruin Hanshin actually came. One doubts if it was really her. The screen displays information about copying documents. One of the men rebukes his uncle. Why didn't anyone follow Ruin Hanjing? She copied all the confidential company documents. Another does not believe that she was just playing sapper. One asks how stupid Huo Cheng's wife can be and rebukes her for being invited. One of the women says that it is the same as giving the evidence directly. The eldest nephew ponders what to do, wonders. concludes that dead people can't talk. Someone reports to the lady that the Chung family used nightclubs to launder money and asks whether to call the police. The lady wonders if Mr. Huo is busy today because he said he was away on a business trip. She notices something that causes her surprise, concludes that someone can no longer hold back. Two people are depicted, one of whom is smoking. The woman is about to find out what they plan to do. She looks serious and scrutinizes. The woman is acting aggressively, trying to get free. A man notices that this rich woman is quite bold. The other says she's attractive, and if it weren't for orders from the boss, he wouldn't mind trying her. A woman lies on a couch, keeping her balance. She assumes that this is the nightclub that the Chung family used to launder money. She complains that their attacks give her a headache and threatens to kill them. A woman kicks a bottle or other object, the sound of breaking glass. A man opens the door and appears on the doorstep. The woman firmly asks where their boss is. The man notes that she is quite calm. The other man orders her to tell the boss that she is awake. The man wonders who's here, noticing someone new. The field of vision shifts to a woman in a red dress. The man admires her beauty and asks if she needs help. The woman says she's kind, but it won't be appreciated. Another woman admits that if she is obedient, she will be fine. The boss's name is Sun. The woman asks how to be obedient like that. She is answered that girls here are always crying and looking for death. The woman says it is their fate and one should accept to suffer less. The woman rejects fate, saying she will never accept it. She adds that if she did, she would have died long ago. The woman is surprised by her unexpected statement. They say that if she feels this way, she will have to suffer. A woman touches or holds something. A man orders another to leave quickly and prepare to meet his guests. A man and a woman discuss someone with a noticeable emotional reaction. The woman wants to know the man's name. The woman in the red dress introduces herself as Hai Tang. A voice in the woman's head says she doesn't belong here and asks her to run away. Someone expresses an opinion about the situation, perhaps sarcastically. A man asks Mrs. Ho how she is feeling. She wonders why Boss Sun brought her here. The woman says she had peaceful intentions with Mrs. Ho, but she touched her people. She mentions that old grudges have been added to new ones and offers to talk, hoping for understanding. The man admits he has a few tricks and is willing to help Mrs. Huo entertain her brothers. They discuss the possibility of cooperation. The woman scoffs. The woman angrily refuses to cooperate. The three men are outraged by what has happened. One of them is furious and demands to catch the girl who has suddenly freed herself. They are determined to punish her by sending a threat against her. The woman decisively declares that in fact the enemy is to die. A sudden movement shows her willingness to defend herself, which elicits a cry of pain from one of the attackers. The others try to realize the situation. One of them says that he intends to teach her a lesson, but the woman attacks sharply, eliciting a scream. The woman reports that it is the next one. In parallel, another character appears who is unhappy about being interrupted, and another who calls out to the other and reports that she has killed several people. The woman warns that it's too early to leave and advises her opponent to take better care of himself. The man rushes to the woman's aid, calling her sister-in-law, and immediately thinks with regret that he missed her punch so easily. The man gets punched in the face and is dumbfounded to realize that he succumbed to the sudden attack while another character watches. The young man, showing confidence, says he still can't believe they dared to lock him in here. Reminded that this is just the beginning, he also sneers that the others don't realize what awaits them. The man gets a kick and screams in horror. The woman asks indignantly who gave him permission to touch her brother. The woman stands proudly and the man admires her courage, deciding not to mess with his sister-in-law in the future. The woman offers to call an ambulance, but the man assures her that everything is fine. He asks her to run after the man they were talking to earlier, as his brother will soon arrive to help. After receiving confirmation that everything will be fine, the woman smiles and says, "Okay." The reasoning below emphasizes the bond between family members. The shouting and commotion begins to subside. The two are seen running away while someone asks Boss Sun if he is going to leave now. The woman heads resolutely to the side, blocking the enemy's path, and makes a claim that she couldn't help but notice his brutality. She is outraged at what he has done. The man cheers and gloats in response, claiming that now the woman will have no chance of stopping him. He smiles cruelly, claiming that everything is now in his hands. The woman suddenly realizes that the earrings she sees belonged to Hai Tang. This discovery shocks her. The woman asks sharply about Hai Tan's fate. At that moment, someone suddenly approaches. The sharp blow to the woman comes as a surprise. causing her to slump against the wall, shocked by the pain. The man explains that he was just teaching her a lesson, laughing that he was finally able to do so in response to her attack. He considers her no longer dangerous. At the same moment, she resolutely confesses that she will not let her enemy get away before he pays for what he has done. The woman painfully decides that she will not die here. She rises, confident that she can defeat any enemy. Leaning against the wall, the woman is in pain and thinks of her husband, wondering how he feels now. A man in a wheelchair presents a strange vision before her eyes. She doesn't understand why his image is in front of her and begins to wonder if she missed him that much. A flash of light. A policeman asks if anyone has any memories of the last incident. The man says that Sunya's boss pulled out a knife and tried to run away, but it was so difficult. The girl reacts to his words in surprise. The policeman says that they understood the situation, and if there is nothing else, they will leave. The girl asks to wait a moment. She clarifies if someone rescued a girl named Haitan, 20 years old, as tall and beautiful, at night. A man in the room assembles a Rubik's Cube and hands over an apple. He asks the policeman to check the information about Haitan. The policeman thanks Mr. Huo for the data. She has not been found, so they suggest forget about it. The policeman suggests that Haitan might have hidden in the chaos and run away. Then he adds that Miss Haitan is dead, expressing his condolences to Mrs. Huo. The sound of an apple falling. The woman is amazed at Haitan's death. She thought that boss Sun is very ruthless and attacks her even if it's not her doing. She has a feeling that Haitan risked her life and gave her hope to escape. Haitan may be desperate but took the risk of giving her hope of escape, even if it turned out to be dangerous for her. She thinks Haitan would rather die, but she won't let herself be caught. The man holds her hand and says nothing more. He notices that she is crying. The woman is surprised when she realizes that she is actually crying. She feels weak and says that she should have dealt with boss Sun herself. Haitan's death has left a void in her heart through which the wind blows. The woman recalls how the wind brought the void into her life. The man next to her promises to help her fill that void. He suggests that although they didn't save Haitan, they can protect others by creating a fund to help girls in need. He suggests that she gather investors who were duped by Auntie Ho's companions to invest in the cause. The woman suggests asking the investors to donate a portion of their earnings to the fund. He thanks her, wondering what she saw in him, and says he will support her. The woman decides to kiss him, thanking him for supporting and believing in her. She goes on to explain how he inspires and mesmerizes her. Someone suddenly enters and exclaims that they didn't see anything. The man in the room comments that they saved her sister, giving them license to have an affair. The woman schemes to go to school again and offers to invest in an educational project. He agrees to her idea. The man agrees to follow her instructions regarding the new project. One of her friends asks if they can open a nightclub at her expense. They laugh and suggest doing household chores instead of fantasizing. A sister exclaims, congratulating her brother and his wife. A small orchid plant begins to grow, at which time the man notices the malefactor. Everyone is excited about the little sprout, wondering what it looks like. The man notices that his wife acts like a child at times. Meanwhile, the other man reports the information he has found. He asks the man how it went. The man explains that boss Sun reported that Cheng Yuan ordered him to kill the madam. He adds that Cheng Ming and Cheng Yuan even cooperated with another company the day before everything happened. The man believes that such actions by Cheng Ming put them both at risk. The man recommends contacting the Qi family and informing them of the successful preservation of the orchids, inviting them to the upcoming banquet. Mr. Huo is pleased that the recovery is going well, saying that the doctor is confident of a full recovery. He gives permission to inform Madame the young man in the wheelchair, ponders whether the girl will be happy after his confession, and whether she will allow him to embrace her like a princess. The woman is suspended in the air after receiving a note from Mr. Ho. The message says that if she does this, her heart will be at peace and stop being empty. Mr. Ho's mansion is then shown. The young woman assures the man in the black suit that it is no problem for her to organize a flower banquet. The guy in the suit suggests inviting people from both families, but advises against calling Cheng Ming this time. He notes that the shareholders of his father's old company are getting restless, and Cheng Ming might take advantage of this situation to ruin the cooperation with the Gu family. The woman promises to fully support Mr. Ho. She adds that she has one more thing to do, but immediately they are interrupted by her sister reporting problems with the Orchid. The woman rushes to the Orchid, but the man notices that his legs have healed. The man says goodbye, promising to talk later, and heads outside. He laughs, admitting that he was faking it. At a restaurant, a young woman is helping in the kitchen, acting as a chef. In the background, something important is being discussed with Chung Li and Ho Ning. Young people gather in front of the building. A woman in a wheelchair says that the shareholders' meeting is scheduled for 10 a.m. and asks how he plans to resolve the crisis in Ho's family. The man in the wheelchair notes that his wife's attention is focused on him. With this action, he invokes the threat of being fried and jokingly wonders if Mr. Ho knows how to whip batter. The young man admires the beauty of the flowers chosen by his sister. Chung Lin asks why he wasn't brought this time. He is shocked. The woman in black explains that she wanted to see him in person because she misses him and intends to take care of her son. The woman clarifies that all talk of his mother ended as soon as the news of the wedding began. The young woman smiles as she remembers how his mother was not always right. Guy assumes that his mother just wants him to accompany her to the flower banquet, but he disagrees. The woman angrily says Chung Ling shouldn't forget how she took care of him as a child and resentfully reminisces about the old days. Chung Ling remembers how he could not make a sound even when he cried, and how he was left in a dark room. He refuses to agree and says he is going home. The woman claims that even if he doesn't honor her request, she will always be at his side. She starts yelling for Chung Ling to come back. With flowers in his hands, the guy says, The woman asks what happened. He assures her that nothing terrible happened, just some problems. He offers to go inside, but the woman persists that something serious has happened. The guy assumes that he has run into his mother again. She remembers what he looked like when he was dating her. The woman decides what to do with the man and closes the door, wondering about the stranger. Suddenly, there is a scream and the sound of falling. The other young man asks what is going on and why he is here. The woman defends herself, saying she just came to look and is doing nothing wrong. I'm going to die, she thinks. She wonders why it hurts so much and complains about the absence of any warning about Mrs. Huo's strength. If not for Chung Min's mother threatening her over a broken orchid, she wouldn't have come. She walks in, questioning what others are doing here. She states her purpose, stressing she only came to see her son who vanished without notice. In response, the critique of her interrogative tone is given, reminding her of her maternal relationship. Meanwhile, someone marvels at the multitude of flowers, unsure which is relevant. She is questioned on how she entered the greenhouse, with suspicions about her motives, suggesting something is wrong with her. In defense, she claims she is lost and dismisses the greenhouse as insignificant. The situation turns chaotic with calls to see and accusations of strange activities. The plea for haste and disinterest in delays are contrasted with the unfazed declaration of being merely a cactus. He argues that it's just a few simple flowers, questioning why the interaction is so intense. As tensions escalate, Huo Chung Lin is questioned about potential rebellion. The woman downplays the incident as minor, questioning if he intends to harm his own mother. A woman accuses someone of manipulation, and a strong rebuke follows. An admonishment to be silent stands out. In an intense moment, someone intervenes, urging Chung Lin to stop. Someone wonders why the recent situation turned so grim. There's a poignant query about whether this is love, while someone emphasizes the importance of rescue. Someone seeks reassurance from Chung Lin, asking about the reason for his actions and stressing her unconditional love for him. A confrontation arises, questioning who loves Chung Lin more. The accusation of someone being a foolish woman is met with open hostility. The swift reaction surprises her, followed by a suggestion of trying again. A harsh criticism follows, labeling her selfish and ignorant, accusing her of not being worthy of motherhood. An urging to suppress screaming ensues amid tension, with a metaphorical reference to tearing someone apart. A cry escapes her, and an assertive figure challenges her audacity to behave so disgracefully towards his wife. Someone, unsteady, is admonished by a returning figure who asserts control of the situation. Upon reunification, she notices something amiss with Huo Chen's legs, expressing concern over his recent neglect due to busyness. Orders are given to pack Madame Ye's belongings and send her to another country, illustrating a decisive action. Amid her protests, she pleads innocence, as the figure calmly instructs his sons to stay with their siblings. Chung Lin challenges someone about the family dynamics, acknowledging emotional neglect and reaffirming family priorities. Surprise is evident as someone recognizes a significant detail suddenly. Recognition of the orchid leads to a plea for understanding of hardship, wrapped in a threat of retaliation. Driven by her panic and hysteria, the woman gloats that the orchid is missing. The young man thinks it's all pointless and ridiculous. In conversation, he mentions how important appearance is in business and that you shouldn't get so caught up in such trivialities. He explains that a mock-up orchid was purchased for practice and the real orchid is elsewhere. The woman wonders how this is possible and thinks that her complaints matter. The woman insists that the man has no right to treat her this way and points to their familial relationship. The man and the girl decide that everything is settled. The girl adds that someone should explain to the family the importance of foot treatment. The boy in the wheelchair happily shows that he can take a few steps. The man and the girl plan their next steps. The man asks the girl to process the situation while he is away. The girl is ready to take over all explanations when the others return home. The man informs her that some guest has arrived earlier than usual, which causes the woman a brief moment of confusion. The woman explains that he arrived early because of his interest in the orchid, but doesn't invite him over due to his busyness. The woman notices that Chen Min is about to find himself in a difficult position. The woman is annoyed that the cloud is blowing in the wind when it shouldn't. She has unpleasant thoughts about the old man. The woman moves around nervously, deciding how she should handle her color distinction, while the old man notices the situation. The young man notices that the lack of knowledge is discouraging to some, followed by a brief moment of silence. The man feels the need to stay away from the other old man, perhaps after a conflict. The woman is anxious about the shareholder meeting. As men tend to bring up various issues, it is certainly upsetting. The woman warns to be careful or you could miss a cluck. A woman agrees to help another figurehead with a case involving his old relative. A woman thinks about a movie investment offer and notices that her new acquaintance is already interested in the offer. The woman asks who is next to the other man. In response, the man is told that it is an old friend looking for a movie investment. The woman is outraged at the way lowbrow stuff is being tried in movies and how it is ruining the industry. The woman is disappointed with the company's strategy and bluntly emphasizes her disapproval. The woman recalls the recent hard struggle of many young artists in the industry due to unfair working conditions. The man feels humiliated by the woman and points out the obviousness of her backbiting. The woman comes to her senses, enjoying her drink while she thinks about the previous conversation. The woman decisively states what she will do next. The woman says her script is for a literary movie and asks to see it to discuss the details. The woman sits on a couch with a book and talks about the content of the movie. She explains that she was given the opportunity to review a novel and create a script for it. The man mentions that his company is the best in the entertainment industry and offers to invest in a debut movie that he thinks will be successful. The woman explains the importance of good content and quality scripts. The man states that if the script is worthwhile, he will invest. The woman points out that the script requires filming in different locations to achieve the best result, which increases the cost of the project. She goes on to talk about the need to adhere to cultural traditions and quotes characters from history, emphasizing the need for significant investment in the project. The man thanks the woman, but remarks that feature films are usually not well received and the cost must be low. He is surprised that she is asking for such an amount. The man sarcastically asks why movies that cost so much are needed at all. The woman warns him to be careful with the money, hinting that after today it might come in handy more. The woman says that after the shareholders' meeting, the company will go to her son and wonders if her opponent understands. One of the women is surprised that the other is so sure, as if she has invested in the project. She is asked what she means. One of the women is shocked to learn that Huo's legs are healed and can't believe it is possible. In a moment of surprise, a cup is broken when they discuss that the shareholders' meeting has started. One of the men declares that Chung is one of the worthy choices for president. A man defends the rights of his boss, claiming that all the labor and accomplishments belong to him, while another believes that this man has no right to speak to him like that. One of the participants asks not to forget that the Huo family cannot stop developing if their company is not given cooperation. The men get into an argument about financial gain and personal interests related to the family business, emphasizing the importance of earning money. One of the men is frustrated with the other, arguing that the fate of the company is now being decided and it is important to make a choice. Unexpectedly, there is a round of applause and everyone is puzzled as to who it is. A man standing in the hallway suggests that the others continue their speeches, creating an atmosphere of expectation. A shocking revelation occurs in the hall when they learn that Huo's legs have been healed, even though it was thought impossible. One of the men is greatly surprised, asking his partner why he was not informed of this. The young man is furious that the other shareholders may turn their backs on him because of this stunning event. Huo notices that the other man doesn't seem very happy about his appearance, creating a tense atmosphere. He invites Chung to continue speaking, politely congratulating him on his recovery and display of fortitude. Huo humbly asks everyone to keep working and ignore him, hinting at the company's new achievements. Chung doubtfully states that such a position is only suitable for strong people, hinting at his skepticism. The man asks Huo's opinion, to which the latter responds happily, willing to consider the initiative. The protagonist is furious and asks if they are joking and demands that Jin Zhuan take Grand Director Luo Huo and his aunt Huo out of the office. The protagonist is surprised at what is happening, but soon leaves the room with a determined look, leaving the others to discuss the situation. The young man thanks Ms. Huo for saving him, noting that he would not have eaten without thanking her. The girl, in turn, claims that she was not the one who saved him. He clarifies that his actions are not important, but thanks her nonetheless. The girl asks if he wants to invest in the project, hinting that it's not a joke. The young man assures her that it doesn't matter, but thanks her anyway. The girl asks why he is blushing, assuming he is embarrassed. In the office, the boss tells his representative that they now have the option of leaving this job to Luo Huo, although they may be bound by common business. The supervisor notices the potential problems. However, he believes that now is the right time to make a decision and his eyes are fixed on the future of the solution. As he leaves, the man says he is going home to set things up. His coworker admires the speed and determination of his actions. The young man reflects on how secure the setting is. At the bottom of the image, he is told of an upcoming visit to the observatory. He says he wants to give gifts to the children at the orphanage, offering to teach them how to draw. The brother is surprised when his younger brother begins to draw, causing all the surrounding children to laugh. He reflects on the fact that the marriage lasted a few months, but the cold silence in the Huo family seems like an eternity to him. The young woman tries to explain that she wanted to surprise him, but he remains wary and tense. He apologizes for his recent behavior, admitting that he was too busy at work. The young man laughingly apologizes, and she laughingly asks what he is laughing about. The young woman admits that she has learned to earn money for herself, and he thanks her for her support. He recalls that she has always been his inspiration and support. taking him by the hand and leading him off the dark paths. She says she wants to believe in their love, and he replies that he is the one who should apologize to her. The Orchid's diary records that it's hot outside and she doesn't like how the loving couple forgot to water it. She notices the displeasure caused by this circumstance. Hanshin and the man gently embrace while saying her name. The man apologizes for forgetting, and the girl calls him a fool. He offers to have a drink together, and the girl agrees. The hostess offers a dish to the man, saying it is delicious. The man gingerly remarks that such behavior can lead to dismissal, and his companion adds that the man is not even angry. At lunch, the man talks about the many dishes and asks to pass something on while the girl looks at him silently. The girl and her son at the table are silent as they look at the food. The girl reflects on future plans and how she has developed the business, emphasizing the importance of the family business. She is hopeful and mentions confidence in her next life. The man wonders about possible mistakes in the project, and the woman remarks that there are mistakes, but they are minor. She is confident in the success of future generations. The girl thinks about the fact that the man cares about her. They sit at a table. The girl tells the man that she believes him, and the man looks at her fondly. The woman's house is shown, and the man remarks that previous projects have been a failure. Blaming some people for this, a colleague accuses the man, alluding to Charity, but the man denies the accusations, emphasizing his intentions. A woman wearing glasses speaks her mind, urging the man to prove his point without being attacked. There are two other men in the room next to the woman. One of them throws something on the table, suggesting they try to work out the issue together. The girl reminds the man of his past accomplishments and confidence in the future. She says that the care of the children is entrusted to the older generation, making everyone go forward. The young woman thanks Mrs. Dwan, at which time the children discuss the time left until the meal is ready. The little girl says the food is almost ready and throws the pan into the sky. The surrounding people are puzzled and ask why there is such a commotion. As they pass an old man, two young men warn him to pay a protection fee, and a woman warns them. The protagonist is surprised by this behavior and wonders who gave them the right to act like this in their neighborhood. The man notices that the girl looks like she needs to be watched. He taunts her, but she proudly refuses to listen and stands up for herself. She seems to deal with the threat quickly, making one of the bullies feel intimidated. The two men discuss in fear that it would be better to cancel the security call, as they recognize the woman as the one who stopped their boss earlier. The children hurriedly run away, apologizing for running into Mrs. Huo. They say they need to leave as soon as possible. A woman, presumably Mrs. Huo, acknowledges her presence. The man next to her smiles, removing his glasses, and thinks Mrs. Huo is adorable. He asks her who she is and what she does for a living. The woman replies that she is particularly interested in the development of the city. She offers the man a plate of dumplings and tells him that the town is developing and will soon be better. The man notices the active development of District 13 and thinks that making this place prosperous will not be easy. The woman ponders that the man in front of her knows a lot about the development of the city and wonders who he is. Her cards show that this is a man who has a proposition for her. The man is talking about the development of a new neighborhood when the woman interrupts him, asking if he is Professor Huo. At that time, another character probably hears the conversation and wonders who the mysterious professor is. The woman is already holding a card with an invitation to cooperate written on it. She ponders that this might be her chance to promote a project in the neighborhood that has been long planned. She considers borrowing certain teaching materials. She thoughtfully analyzes the current situation with the development of District 13. A man in another scene is having trouble investing in the project, but is still hopeful that the city will prosper. She decides to seize the opportunity and participate in the project despite the complications. She seems convinced that the city is in decline and believes that nothing is lost. The man talks about the mansions, emphasizing their cultural heritage. He also mentions the disruption of historic and modern styles, calling it a potential mistake. The woman thought deeply about documenting changes in the city. This should help people understand the neighborhood better. It is as if she is pondering the future of the project. Sitting on the couch, she ponders documenting the changes. She thinks this is the real deal and will help people better understand Neighborhood 13. She met a man who was in search of information about the development of the neighborhood. The woman suggests a book with the necessary materials and thinks a documentary could be created about the area. She mentions a person who could lead the project. The woman explains how the documentary could be useful. She believes it will help the project better understand Indigenous issues and emphasizes the importance of presenting material from different perspectives. She jokingly talks about love as she stands next to a man who responds to her request. He seems a little embarrassed, but allows the thought of continuing the project. The woman at the door ponders that she might be in a tight spot if she walks in and sees something wrong. The scene shifts to a coffee shop. The woman suggests that the man relax as he approaches with questions about the project in District 13. She explains that she plans to announce it at a press conference. He expresses his gratitude and she asks if he wants to make a casting offer for the movie. The man plans to auction items from the set to raise money for the documentary. A woman ponders how the screening could be used to promote the documentary to give the content more meaning. The man is surprised by her initiative. He tries to explain that their goals may not coincide, so it is difficult to accept the offer. The man is worried about future expenses and asks if the budget will cover the difference. The woman decides to take matters into her own hands, putting her ideas down on paper. She is confident that she can move the project forward and hopes for a better outcome. She is aware of the city's problems and tries to use them in her photographs. She is convinced that inaction will turn the neighborhood into a slum and is trying to avoid that. A man standing in front of the door tells the woman that he is here to help the project reach a successful conclusion. He decides to help her, and she readily accepts it. The children again cause laughter by watching the man dressed in a suit. They tease him and propose marriage, eliciting smiles from those present. News reports that Mrs. Huo has contributed $160 million, and the other director is unknown. Profile user Dr. Feng Chen shares a video and discusses the event, eliciting many comments and reactions from subscribers. A woman watching the news notices that there are offers to observe some changes in the neighborhood. She feels exhausted and ruins her plans, including watching the movie. It is mentioned that Shan Nai home and wants to become an actor. At the conference, the woman instructs them to be more careful with their preparations. A man wonders if she is busy, to which the woman responds confidently. He gives her a box. The man says that all these items should be taken to the auction as they are chosen as the best. He reminds her of the woman's favorite perfume. The woman says she is ready to go and gives her best to go on stage with the man. The audience welcomes Mr. and Mrs. Huo. They are thanked for their participation and help to choose their favorite objects. The man notices the cold air and asks to put on a cape. The woman expresses her gratitude. The trouble with the heaters is discussed by the two men. President Huo's old-fashioned views are mentioned. One of the men states that his wife could wear whatever she wanted, adding that the time at the meeting was not wasted. The man notes that it is difficult for the unmarried to understand feelings of affection. A woman wonders if it's male competition. A man discussing a neighborhood change study mentions that some buildings are collapsing due to unstable foundations. Another man suggests that some things need to be fixed and advises the woman to pay attention to the problems. A woman with red hair suggests that the young host wants to outdo others and be ahead of everyone else, not missing the opportunity to mention the weaknesses of the neighborhood. The woman says that people with the same thoughts influence the opinions of others and create their own solutions, and she does not like this interference. The woman with pink hair resents being hit by Master Gu's second wife. Her opponent assures her that she doesn't care who she is and explains that she doesn't like her, which is why she punched her in the face. The man in the suit says she should have known how Second Master Gu felt about her. The woman in pink insists on her disrespect while she is asked to let go. A blonde-haired woman on the street is shown. The woman in white states that she is the wife of the head of Ho's group and asks why she should respect her. A man deliberately inquires who gave the women the audacity to talk like that. The men in suits confirm that they agree with the statements. The woman with green eyes is puzzled by the events. The man says that second young Master Gu is indeed a mysterious person, and he should talk to him a little longer. In contrast to him, the other man promises to remember this. The man with the pigtail claims that he must control Gu for good luck. When there is a meeting with other participants, he apologizes for recent events. Through searching, the woman discovers the problem of prejudice against the people of Xicheng District. The woman compares the Xicheng neighborhood to old things that cannot follow the modern world. She promises to show it with a new side. The man enthusiastically agrees. The woman interrupts the remarks about jewelry, addressing the guests about the possibilities. The woman talks about the uniqueness and irreproducibility of jewelry, explaining the need to realize its true value. She then suggests that an auction should begin. The friends on stage are pleased with each other. The man promises to trust the woman and recalls pleasant moments. The woman admires the support. In the course of the auction, the sum of 200,000 is offered. Then someone bids 500,000, adding that Mrs. Zhuang's words have touched him to the core. The man grinningly raises the bid to 1 billion, following his delight, and another joins in, claiming that the speech moved him. The man is outraged that his rival is trying to take away his bid of 2 billion and wonders about the intentions of the other bidders, suspecting an interest in Mrs. Zhuang. The auction continues and the bids go up to 8 and 6 billion between the competitors, causing discontent among them. The bid quickly rises to 18 billion. A woman is spotted arriving among the auction room, and some recognize the third daughter of the Gu family. The woman enters the office where others are waiting for her. She hatches plans, imagining the possible outcome of the situation with Gu Zhao is not as smooth as in the past. The men at the auction ponder why Gu Zhou is here, questioning the situation. They confirm that it's the sister of one of the bidders, assuring them that she's out of their league. Meanwhile, the auction continues. The auction ends at a bid of 18 billion. A woman congratulates the winner who got a role in the movie. They congratulate Ms. Xu for getting the opportunity to cooperate, thank her for donating to Xicheng District, and introduce her to Yu Xiumei, the host of today's event. Ms. Xu meets in the lounge area, where she is greeted and thanked for her support of Xicheng Hospital. She is asked how she sees the cooperation. Mrs. Xu recalls how in a previous life she was engaged to a man who later turned out to be an enemy. She finds this offensive. A man examines documents regarding donations for the development of Xicheng City, reflecting on the damage done in the past. A party where the guests discuss the extent of support provided by the committee. Does Mrs. Xu have enough strength to cope with such difficulties? She admits that she doubts her choice, but is still willing to accept the challenge and act to cooperate. The company of joyful women celebrate Ms. Xu's successes, noting her significant impact on the team. She smiles as she listens to them. The woman expresses her hope that Mrs. Zhuang will become her daughter-in-law. Someone remarks that Guzhou is actually very pleasant. One of the women expresses displeasure, explaining that it has nothing to do with her, but a discussion is going on about how clumsy Guzhou can be. Guzhou is asked what his sister means, but he doesn't know. He assures that he has no feelings for Miss Huang. The girl's brother feels that there is a connection between Mrs. Xu and Guzhou. The second man confirms that he and Mrs. Xu are a legitimate certified couple. End of the evening, the brothers leave, letting go of comments about the event. They say they were happy to see everyone. Guzhou whispers in Xu's ear. His feelings are sincere and deep. Their meeting confirms everything. Deciding to verify, Gujo unexpectedly hugs Shu, leaving her stunned. An unexpected kiss. Gujo continues to kiss, showing how sure he is of his feelings for her and leaves no doubt. Shu asks if Mr. Huang is satisfied with the inspection, to which he replies that yes, his satisfaction. There is a knock on the door and a request to come in is heard. The new person arriving at the casting is in an awkward situation. Shu says that she just needs to use this opportunity to work with Huai Group, and the rest is up to Director Feng. The director notes that he will recruit her next week for the next audition, noting her influence on their company. Shu is surprised to find that there is a woman in the picture and asks if it has to be her. The woman in the picture is Shen Nai, which surprises Shu. She recognizes her at first sight. Sheng Ne recalls that a girl he once met sings very emotionally at karaoke. He emphasizes that she has always felt music deeply. His words are accompanied by moments from the past when Sheng Ne remembers how he was inspired by the girl. He reflects on the fact that she brought joy in the small moments of their lives. In the studio, someone apologizes for being late, and another girl remarks that she hasn't seen Nai in a while and wonders how she's doing. The friends discuss that they haven't seen each other in a while and wonder if Nai remembers her promise to be in his movie. One of the girls is sure she remembers everything, while the other apologizes for having a lot to do. One of the girls jokes about needing a workout before the reception. The girl in the dress laughs, promising to take it over. The action takes place against a backdrop of large paper figures. The girl with long hair asks her friend to go to the pageant together. It can be seen that she needs support, even though she is confident. The girl says that everyone was afraid that Huo Chen would treat her family badly and hurt her. She explains that things in the entertainment world are much more complicated than one can imagine. The girl tells with determination that she has always dreamed of getting into the entertainment industry. This is her chance, so she doesn't want to pass it up. With friendly teasing, one girl admits that she lost to the other, but promises that they will shine on stage together in the future. She hurries off, asking Han Xin to follow her, showing her willingness to take action. The girl claims that she will prove her talents. The director reminds her of the importance of preparedness and finalizes preparations for filming. A description of the filming process that mentions how the character's emotions develop. The director talks about the second half of the scene as the most difficult. Han Xin assures that unless one tries it, there is no way to know if one has the ability. They invite others to start filming. Sheng Ne recalls how she was supported by an old man. However, as time passes, she feels she is just an object sold for profit. The girl continues to reflect on her situation, referring to herself as a slave used solely for duty tasks. The director praised Sheng Ne for her sense of composition and character, noting that her approach to her work exceeded expectations. No one expected Sheng Ne's talent to be so outstanding, considering that she had not undergone any professional training. Nai suggests using a clip from the casting call to boost the movie's popularity. She points out that one detail needs to be finalized. The girl takes an important step by stating that if Nai has decided to go down her chosen path, she will support her as a mentor. She is the younger sister of Puan Hunking. The man says his name is Puan Vichy, but he could be called Biye. The man sitting on the couch turns out to be Little Wu. He asks the woman to help him with his 30 million yuan debt and offers to make a deal. The woman smiles and politely says that if someone is so persistent, she will agree to help Little Wu in his case. The woman asks if he is in fact her young master. He confirms that he is and suggests that she take better care of herself. The woman replies that he has good taste since he chooses to accessorize like that. The man with the mustache asserts that the nephew will act in full accordance with the instructions. The girl, kissing the cell phone, expresses her faith in success. The man believes that God is helping him. The girl is not inferior to Puan Hanking. He wants to know what Puan Hanking is going to show him. The girl thinks that the girl with a beautiful aura notices her presence. The woman notices that if it wasn't for the 50 million debt, Pianist wouldn't have a chance to match Gu Yuzhan. The girl rushes over and says that there is still a lot to be done, including setting up an office on the 5th floor. Under the guidance of Xing Shili, Pianist has signed a contract with Gu Zhao. It is said that he wants to use this opportunity to suppress her, and the internet is already full of discussion. The woman on the phone understands the situation and expresses her willingness to discuss a plan of action. The man is perplexed as to what is going on. The woman states that the studio belongs to them as of today. The man with the mustache is disgruntled. He asks why things are not packed. The woman in the pink dress is calm and confidently remarks that he is just who they were talking about. Wang Jing is indignant. How can he say that this place is already taken? The mustachioed man explains that Mr. Guo offered triple the price this morning, and now it is their seat. The woman speculates about the level of the movie industry, where actors from poor neighborhoods are allowed into movies. She observes that standards have dropped a lot. A man says that a woman does not deserve the right to speak out. Another woman tries to remain calm and promises to deal with the situation, asking her to stand aside and film the whole thing. The woman with long hair urges the other to get on with her people and not complicate the situation to avoid problems. The woman in the pink dress wonders if force is going to be used. The other says they have a contract in hand. The first is perplexed as to why her sister is so rigid. It is said that the future of the entertainment industry is based on money. The woman explains that if someone wants to use the studio, they have to pay more. One of them asks if the other has changed her style and waits for her. The woman in the pink dress suggests that her competitor is copying her style, but still won't get the same results. The woman accuses the other of stealing her happy future and opportunities that should have been hers. A woman is frightened that her scolding doppelganger is ruining her reputation. Another voice urges her to come to her senses and not lose control, as this is just a studio and as a small thing. You can let her win today. The woman wonders who the real thief is here. Woman accuses another of using a camera to record video, says it's disgusting. Man intervenes, uses the situation against her, saying he is using this information to publicize. Woman is surprised at what has happened. The woman decides to give in to the situation, reasoning that it's just a studio and it's a small loss. The woman leaves, hoping she will not see the other person here again. She laughs that she won easily. One wonders why her sister said the words about winning. Turns out the studio did belong to her and she bought it back in time. The woman is outraged at how someone could do such a thing, prompting thoughts of order. The woman recalls that her sister claimed the industry was based on money. Isn't that true? It is said that in addition to this studio, there are several others in the building that she rented. All of them provide services for shooting music videos for children's shows. The woman in the pink dress wonders when her brother will be able to buy her a similar building. The assistant asks her to watch her expressions. A woman turns to her sister, suggesting that she watch her words. The other hints that since she wants to be hot, she will help her this time. The woman in pink realizes that she still feels fear in her role as the villain. The man beckons Wang Zheng and says that they are leaving. The woman realizes she has to make a decision and makes a call. The woman politely asks Mr. Gu for help. Mr. Gu is on the phone discussing the deal. He inquires about the location of Ruin Hangxing and reminds her of the importance of the case. The man states that he wants to invest a lot of money. He offers to give more money whenever the woman on the phone wants and wonders about her response to this offer. The woman with the phone confidently informs that she can send Ruin Hangxing to bed Mr. Gu. The man in the office laughs, saying that if a proud man like Ruin Hangxing finds out that he slept with another man, she will be shocked and won't be able to handle it. The man says he relied on his subordinate and plans to make investments. The woman replies that she thanks Mr. Gu. They discuss the possibility of hiding the truth from Ruin Hangxing. A large mansion is shown where an important event may be taking place. a man and a woman have dinner together. The woman remarks that she bought everything to please him and the man thanks her for it. A woman receives a text message and checks her phone. The man wonders what happened. The woman explains that Mr. Gu invited her to an event tonight. The man asks if she wants to go, and the woman confidently replies that she will go. She ponders how to attract attention at the important event. A woman is thinking about how she doesn't want to be a muff. Other people are getting ready for a photo shoot and filming. The couple welcomes everyone to the event, and viewers online discuss what a beautiful couple they are. The woman says she is going to talk to Mr. Gu and asks him to call her if there is any news. A girl in a white dress with flowers in her hair expresses surprise that her sister also came to the event. She says she missed her. Her sister sarcastically remarks that apparently the younger sister has forgotten that she is older. She doesn't understand what the sister is doing here and why she is calling her to have a drink together. The woman says that if it wasn't for the live broadcast, she wouldn't have come to the event and calls her sister insolent. In internet comments, viewers discuss who this brave girl is and add that she can't be mentioned in vain. A man remarks that the hostess of the event is really amazing. The woman hopes that the hostess will remain as confident after today's event. A woman sharply slaps a man who has gotten too close to her. She states that it is only a warning. The man stares silently at the woman who replies that his offensive behavior must stop. The woman wonders if the man would dare to continue in this manner. She mentions the size of his pocket and the money. The woman takes a glass and drinks it while pondering Gu Zhao's words for the evening. The woman suddenly feels dizzy and asks what's wrong. She starts to feel strange and becomes weak. The woman feels strange and wonders if she is under the influence of drugs. She holds her head and ponders who could have done this, complaining of a headache. A man asks the woman if she is okay. She replies that she was a little tipsy and wants to rest in one of the rooms. The man offers to help, but she assures him that she won't interfere with the fun. The man tries to help the woman, but she firmly says she can handle herself. The woman searches for the map from the room, looking around. She warns the man not to follow her, picking up the map labeled 18316. As she does so, she notices that the man's plan has failed. The woman looks at the number 18319 and pensively opens the door. An unseen interlocutor informs her that she is in room 316. Someone else says that if the man is in the other room, it is okay to continue the plan. The woman watches the bar scene, noticing the man, what she had planned. She thinks about how she has to play this out right. The woman bumps into the man and starts a conversation, asking if he would spare her time. She notices that she has nothing to say to him. The woman reminds the man that he probably knows about her relationship with his wife. He responds by saying that he knew about it from the beginning. The woman hints whether he should find out the truth about his wife, adding that she knows the details. She offers to tell everything. The woman persistently assures him that she will tell all the details. The man decides that it is not worth wasting his time with the woman, because no matter how it was before, his wife belongs to him now, and he can find out all the information personally from her. The man quits the drink, saying that he has no extra time for such conversations. The woman watches him, noting that his decision makes her angry and adds mocking comments. She is sure the deception has succeeded. The other man nudges him toward the door, asking what he is doing. He says that if the man doesn't want trouble, he should hurry. The man enters room 18319, slamming the door behind him. Inside, he feels the heat and notices the atmosphere pressing in on him. The man notices someone else's presence and angrily demands to leave, asking who is in his room. The man yells for the intruder to leave, mentally wondering why something is being plotted against him. He assures himself that he will never betray his wife, no matter how provoking the events. The girl is pleased that the meeting is going smoothly and wishes good luck to herself and the other man. She stands at the mirror, preparing for the big day. She is confident in her choice. and believes that the new life together will change her relationship. She remembers her commitment to herself. The girl opens the door and quietly enters the room. Inside, she sees a man resting on the bed. She takes off her shoes and cautiously walks to the back of the room, about to sit down next to the man. The pair embrace. She hopes that he will accept her whole and complete. The stranger expresses hope that he can eventually leave this place. The man asks not to be touched and questions who is in charge of him. The other man tries to explain to him that everything is being done for his own good, but the man is still angry. He teases that their conspiracy was known and wonders if his plan hasn't remained a secret. The woman doesn't immediately understand what is happening, but then moves closer to him and accepts what is happening, asking if he trusts her enough to rely on her fully. She reassures the man, stating that as his wife, she trusts him absolutely. They sit next to each other and she calls him affectionately, which elicits a response from him. The couple enjoys a moment together, and then she falls asleep on his chest. The man gently supports her, enjoying the closeness. He pauses for a moment before picking himself up and continuing on with his business. As he ponders trust, he decides that he still needs to be careful of his intentions and control them. He admits that he almost lost control, but came to his senses after remembering his obligations. The man instructs him to verify information about recent events so that he can be ready for tomorrow's actions. He notes that the woman is not yet awake, and so she quietly drinks warm water while waiting. The woman is still in a state of peace and tranquility. Her sleep continues. The little boy wakes up, drops his drink, and runs away in a panic. The man realizes the need to restrain himself and not give in to temptation as he continues to shower. The girl tells Mr. Gu that investing in her is worth it and expresses confidence in her future success. The man promises that all of Xinyu Entertainment's best resources will be available to her in the future and adds that everything depends on her efforts. The girl looks thoughtful. The woman blames the other girl for the fact that no one is watching her performance and no one wants to watch her stupid drama. She suggests trying something new. The girl is surprised to ask what the other girl is talking about and states that she doesn't understand what she is talking about. The man suggests that the girl leave as the situation is becoming dangerous. The man approaches and asks the woman why she gave the girl a certain pouch. The woman replies that it is just a means of intimidation. The girl, standing at the door, talks about how she didn't need to come back this week. She reminds the man of the secret he was supposed to keep. The man, lying in bed, reminds the girl of the night before and makes a remark about her pretending. The girl responds by saying that she had a hard time confronting him. The girl quibbles about her reputation and emphasizes that she doesn't care about other people's opinions. She says that she doesn't know how to talk about what happened. The girl, on her knees in front of the man, demands to stop talking and promises to take responsibility. The man hands her some clothes, insisting she put them on. The girl yawns and goes to wash her face, wondering why the neighbor is looking at her so enamored. The girl in the bed is perplexed as to how she ended up next to a man she doesn't know. She wonders what is going on. The girl is shocked to find Mr. Gu next to her. She asks why this happened and how they ended up together. The man thinks to himself that he always wanted to be the master of his own destiny. The girl denies the possibility of infidelity, not believing what happened. The man reflects on the events of the past day and realizes that some woman is behind everything. He is sure of her involvement. The man realizes that there is not enough evidence yet, but is willing to wait and move slowly to uncover the truth. The woman questions the state of the bathroom this morning, and the man excuses himself that he took a shower earlier today. The man says the girl slept well. The woman feels secure around him. He says contentedly that the girl's presence helped her to relax. The woman complains that her body aches because of the strong effects of the anesthetic, and tries to cope with the discomfort. The man asks the woman if she's awake. She begins to ponder. The man wonders why the woman was under the effects of the drug. She tells him that she felt dizzy after the juice and barely made it to her room, not knowing how she ended up in his. The man decides to look into the situation. The woman sits on the couch with her tablet in hand, noting how lucky she is that no one noticed her pasta turning to stone. She thinks about what she just said about her, and it leaves her in a kind of shock. The screen discusses the female character, rebuking her for her arrogance and lack of name, calling her not to believe in one-sided opinions. The text mentions that Shen Nai and Ruan Waxi are in conflict, discussing violence in the movie crew, accusing someone of pretending to be her. The woman tells the man that she needs to go to the set, while the young man asks her to wait as he has to start rehearsals. Shen Nai asks why she is so depressed and reassures her that she has done nothing wrong. She apologizes for not knowing about the picture taking, but the other girl calms her down and promises a solution to the problem. A man appears and wonders who the woman is. He notes that because of the accusations towards Shen Nai, they have to stop talking and are thinking of replacing the actress. The woman greets Wen Qing, stating that she is the producer of the movie and reveals her name, Duan Munjing. Duan explains that she disagrees with judging the actress based on rumors and urges them to end the conversation. Duan Munjing thinks the actress is misunderstood and suggests that she read Shen Nai's script before making a decision. The woman reads the script, thinks Shen Nai plays the character well. Duan admits that Shen Nai has never had a discipline problem in all this time. Shen Nai, thinking about the situation, thinks it would have been better if she hadn't been in this situation. The man is worried that they will have to break up with Shen Nai because of the gossip. Wen Qing reads the post online, marveling at how skillfully the lies about Shen Nai were exposed. She reveals that the actress often has bruises, which makes the interviewer surprised. Duan is disturbed by this news and promises to look into it. Duan Munjing starts typing something on her tablet, clearly preparing a response. She asks if Shen Nai has seen how things have changed since it's ruining her reputation. Duan is approached by the organizer of the program, offering to make sure she participates. He explains that they want to invite prominent businessmen in our city to exhibit, showing off the beauty of their neighborhood. Eventually, she agrees to join, much to the delight of those present. A character reads the document and confirms that the information and documents about Vacy are correct. Another character, laden with documents, then makes their way back to the sender. While trying to understand why the show is being held in a different location, the character notices that it has to do with other purposes and needs to be more careful. The show is organized by Xingshu Entertainment, where Ji Zhao and Pan Weisi are involved. The character comments that the show is organized by Xingshu Entertainment and Ji Zhao and Pan Weisi are also invited, then remembers that the investor behind Xingshu Entertainment is Ji Zhao. Wonders why the show is being held in Xishan. It's important for the two characters to be careful as the show may have other goals. One of them thinks that this is still a great opportunity and should be seized. The action takes place in the mountainous part of Sikkim where the show is filmed. The character wonders why the company is developing the project in this poor neighborhood. They feel that it doesn't make sense to invest resources here. A character notices a familiar voice and thinks they hear it nearby. After thinking about it, they believe that it is just not wise to develop such an area. The character recommends to his sister that she not waste her efforts on developing this place, believing that the people who come here lack common sense. In another context, a couple of people are discussing the show and the need to be careful. One of them recalls an incident involving the purchase of painkillers. The reflection on previous painkiller purchases and suspicions continues. The complaint goes on about the irrational purchase. One secret should be threatened if Ji Zhao learns that one lie can ruin a good relationship. Someone gloats over another's consternation. A woman rejoices that an actress, Queen, is taking part in the program. They explain that it's for the sake of the marriage to contribute. After the explanation, the woman expresses that she is just telling the truth and is not worried. Although few in the industry tell the truth, a woman notices a strange wound on her friend's arm, asks if everything is okay. The friend replies that everything is fine. A friend reflects that the actress is really kind, but is often bruised. This raises suspicion of possible domestic violence. The woman explains that she fell due to inattention, claiming that it is normal. But she is reminded that such injuries are not from falls and offers help. The woman feels pressured and nervous after realizing she is hiding from something. She is urged not to withhold the truth. Apologizing for past mistakes, the character is thanked for noticing them. Indication of respectful interaction, saying goodbye, is done in a reserved tone. Meeting the organization, welcomed the characters to the show, announced that they have prepared various shows and entertainment for the day. One of the characters expresses dissatisfaction with the actions of the other, hinting at a conspiracy. Preparations for the show continue. Information is given that the show has ended, and they go back in. One of the characters makes a remark about the inappropriate behavior of the other. The couple walks together. The girl asks to slow her step as the road is difficult. Xiaoyang greets Hanqing after a long time, saying he hasn't seen him in a long time. Hanqing also notices his presence, addressing him. Hanqing asks why he doesn't respond to his messages. The woman asks to show more confidence around her. Off-screen, the woman comments that she is just a woman doing her job. Xiaoyang asks how she is feeling, and the woman confirms that she is fine, but thinks about how and why Hanqing is around another man. The host announces that everyone is gathered and now they can talk about today's plans. The host explains that the guests should go to the market and buy the necessary goods with a limited budget of 20 yuan each. A woman says that 20 yuan is very little for families with a child, and that she hasn't been to the market in 5 years. Someone asks the woman if 20 yuan is not enough for them. The woman thinks about her husband and how much she loves him. A child asks the woman what her name is, and the woman replies that her name is Li Ming. The woman also recognizes the child's name. The woman greets Li Ming and says that she has heard about her accomplishments. Li Ming confusedly agrees, also adding that she and her brother often discuss the events on the show. Child explains that although Li Min is a good sister, she is jealous because she often compares other people to her. The child admits that she actually loves her sister. The woman advises the child to develop her talents and become better than she is now. She adds that she can help her on her way to her dreams. The woman states that one should take back what is rightfully theirs. The child thinks about wanting to become stronger. The camera shows the fish market and the products available there. The woman says she has chosen the best produce in the area. The food is very fresh. A man wonders if this is true. The man and woman discuss how to make a choice. They remark on the need for a great dish for a special dinner. The man remembers that the actress has helped him before and says he came here to appreciate. He considers her his benefactor. The man wonders what kind of nonsense the woman is saying. She can buy what she wants without even telling him. The woman replies that it's okay. The woman says there needs to be more persistence, or things will only get worse. She is determined to change things for the better. In another scene, she is asked if she is behind other people's husbands' backs. The woman ponders that she is not intrigued by other people's husbands. She thinks about how the situation affects her. The woman apologizes for addressing the girl and explains her motives. She also offers another option, talking about self-confidence.